Hello and welcome to the Overgame podcast, where my wife and I sit down and talk about whatever comes to mind over some archived gameplay footage. Unfortunately, there is no gameplay footage for today's episode. I am your co-host Andrew David.
And I'm your other co-host, Teresia.
Hello, Teresia.
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Did you have a good week?
It was normal.
It was normal.
Yeah.
Grocery shopping.
The best.
Playing RuneScape.
Playing with Kitty.
Building a house in The Sims.
Oh, that was pretty good actually.
Yeah, that was good. You happy with what you built?
Somewhat. I can't fix my basement issue.
So, last time we promised you a bit more of a theme, a bit more of a structure to this episode. And we did a little bit of planning, just a bit, like 5 minutes of planning, 10 minutes of planning. And we did come up with a bit of more, maybe like a little more like thematic things to talk about. But I just want to tell you this time, ahead of time, that we're not going to be tricking you into thinking we have a structure and then halfway through just kind of talk about whatever.
We have a structure.
We have one a little bit. So before we directly jump into the biggest topic, I just want to mention that it is currently October, mid-October, and Halloween is coming up. And so obviously we have to do the mandatory scary, spooky stuff. I was thinking of maybe using like a different intro theme song, like maybe a slightly like synthesized echoey version of one, just so that it's more Halloweeny. But now that I think about it, that's too much work. So I'm probably not going to do that.
Okay.
But aside from that, I do want to say that there will be an episode on the 28th, right before Halloween. So, Teresa, we should try and keep maybe some scary, spooky stuff for that day.
Well, as you know, I am a horror fanatic.
I know
so
you are.
I have enough.
I was warning you because I know you're a horror fanatic, and I don't want you to just go all out on this episode. Try maybe and save a little bit of it for next episode. Because I don't want 2 episodes of just Halloween stuff. 2 episodes.
Should we tell them about what I'm always listening to in this episode?
Sure. You can. You know what? How about before? Okay, listen. I know. We just said that we have a structure.
We didn't think of this one.
We're already derailing, but I will let you talk just a little bit. I'm gonna say, let's talk about what you listen to, because it's just gonna take 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
So majority of the time when I'm playing RuneScape or doing other things, I am listening to Creepypastas. Now, they're not, very intricate stories. Most of them are very simple, and sometimes you can kind of guess how it's going to end, but I just love them so much. So, yeah, that's like my normal listens.
Mm-hmm. And you listen to that when playing
RuneScape, everything.
But you also listen to them when sleeping.
Oh, yeah, because they really help. The voices are very therapeutic. Yes, I don't even listen to my own podcast when I'm falling asleep.
Why would you? Oh my god.
I don't know.
I can't even. Do you think other podcasters listen to their own voice to fall asleep?
No idea.
I don't think. I mean, you gotta be some level of narcissist for that to be for that not to be weird. I can't listen to my own voice. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I have to edit this after, and I hate it. Yeah. Every time I hate listening to my own voice. It's so awful. I wish someone else could edit these episodes. Yeah. Okay, back on topic. The topic that we have not even started yet.
It's fine.
So I thought, last week we wrapped up the episode talking a little bit about Oktoberfest, just on a whim. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't, just in case you missed last episode, it wasn't the Oktoberfest that you know. We were not talking about the German one, although it kind of started that way. We were talking about the St. Lucian one, the one in the tiny island, Caribbean island country of St. Lucia. And you can go back and listen to that episode if you want the details on that. We'll probably go a little bit more into it this week, but I don't want to be redundant. Mm-hmm. But leading in from that, right? See, I'm making a connection here. Get engagement to get people to listen to the previous episode. Leaning in from that is I would like to talk about St. Lucia and some of the events that happened there, and not all of the events, specifically what you do in October, because this is a very exciting month. There's a lot happening this month.
It is my favorite holiday. Well, favorite time of year.
October isn't a holiday. October
for me is the best. I wasn't born in October, but it is the best month ever. The most exciting things for me happen in October. Oktoberfest, -beer, Halloween.
Beers.
Halloween and Junin Creole.
You see,
it's not even what it's Junin Creole.
On my notes, I wrote, I don't know how to spell that, right? So I wrote Juna Creole, like Juna.
Oh my god!
But I think I spelled Creole right? Creole.
No, well, it's not Creole, it's Creole.
What? Oh my god.
Kweyol.
Okay,
Creole.
so I even spelled that wrong then. I mean, I guess it depends on what language you say the word in.
Patois.
Yeah, so I can say I wasn't writing in Patois, so technically I'm correct in how I spelled Creole.
Sure. Well, you should have written it in French then.
I don't know how that would be written. I don't even know
Creole.
What does Creole mean?
Not day?
Junin?
Jouer.
Jouer, that means play.
So what's day in French?
Jour.
Jour, yeah.
Oh, so it's
Creole day, I think. I think so.
Oh, Creole day.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay, that makes sense. So we can talk about that a little bit, but I want to keep going over a couple other things. So like I was saying, I want to keep the event specific to October.
Sure.
For the theme, because I know you can talk about
my country, of course,
and the events that apparently happen every month. There's something different happening, and I mean, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. And also, hold on, I know that events happen in every month in every country, but when I say events, I don't mean things like, like Patriots Day or Independence Day. I mean like events like the kind where you go out and party and have like huge celebrations.
I think you should tell our listeners, first of all, where St. Lucia is for the people who don't know.
To you.
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead. Why don't you... For a lot of people don't know about St. Lucia.
You think so?
I think so. I didn't know
I have
about
some
it
faith
until,
in that. I have faith in people.
Like maybe 6 years ago. More than 7 years ago.
That's
I found out what St. Lucia was. Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people know. Because whenever I mention where you're from to someone, they don't know what
the people you talk to are...
They think it's a city I'm naming. And they're like, St. Lucia in where? Or like, St. Lucia where? And I'm like, no, the island of St. Lucia. It's a Caribbean island.
Oh, you spoiled it.
I said Caribbean earlier.
Oh, really?
And last episode.
Oh, really?
I thought you had more to say about it.
Oh, I think you do.
Okay.
So, St. Lucia is in... Like you said, it's an island in the Caribbean. Particularly, it's in the lower part of the chain of islands. So those who don't know, the Caribbean is literally a chain of islands, and it's also called the West Indies because it is west of Africa or west of India.
Sure.
If we have to go into that, it has to do with Indian trade and slavery, etc. But it's called West Indies.
This isn't a history show.
Yeah, it's not. We are a little island between two other islands, Martinique, which is French-based, and St. Vincent, which is English. So that's where my country is.
Okay.
Tell
me about its size.
It is smaller than Montreal.
Okay, so only people who have been to Montreal or live in Montreal know what that is.
Square footage wise?
No, let's not go over specifics. It's not about that. That's not what this podcast is. I keep saying that.
You can circle my island in about 3 hours.
Yes.
By vehicle.
But that's not accurate.
No?
Because the roads are very wibbly wobbly and up and down, and you can't drive fast on them. That's not accurate. I was gonna say that your island is smaller than the common large North American cities. So if you think of large North American cities, your island is about that size. So imagine you having a city all to yourself, just called one thing, like Montreal or New York, and that's just a one place. To you, Teresa, that's a whole country.
It is my country.
Yes, it's your country. And I remember when you came here and we talked about, actually even to this day, you have a little bit of an issue kind of fathoming the scale of a country like Canada in comparison.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. So let's keep going. So tell me about there's a lot of things you like in October. A lot of things I like too. Right? Tell me about some of the key ones that take place in St. Lucia.
Okay.
Give me a list, and then we'll talk about
October, there's only one thing that happens in October.
Okay.
And it is Journée Creole.
Okay.
Journée Creole is, I would say it is a historical, cultural, very culturally heavy event which happens throughout the entire month. It's not just a specific day. It involves wearing certain types of clothing, eating certain types of food, singing certain types of music, dance, etc. It's the entire shebang, and it's historically about slavery and how slaves would celebrate being just having the time for themselves with dance and having their own language, etc., eating this certain types of food. For those who don't know, St. Lucia was fought over 14 times by the French and British because of...
You're very proud of that.
I'm very proud of my country having amazing ports for people to blast other ships coming in. Whatever. But we have, we're very historical. So first of all, we have a second language, which I don't speak, I'm very sorry. It's called French Patois.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's because the French fought over us. So it's very odd. Because if you don't know, my husband speaks French.
Yes,
and
I speak French.
He can kind of understand the patois if it's spoken very, very slowly and if he has time to process it. Yeah. But it's like broken French, broken English.
Because I know that every patois word, more or less, not every, but let's just say the most common patois words are derived from French. So if you talk to me in patois slowly, I can have the time to convert, like, okay, if this word sounds like this, then, if I replace the W's with R's and I maybe like pronounce it slightly differently, it can be that word in French, and I go from there. So if you talk to me too fast and then you don't give me the time to like kind of convert each individual word, I don't know what you're saying.
And a good example, like we said, is Creole and Creole.
And Creole, yeah. So that's a very easy example, but I don't want to get too deep into the history. Now, the reason I let you talk about the history is because if it wasn't for the context of history, all events or holidays worldwide would literally be the exact same thing. Sure. They're all about dressing up a certain way, eating certain foods, dancing, or performing specific arts in specific ways.
But that's basically what it's
That's
about.
what we humans do to celebrate. So I had to include the history. You had to include the history for context.
Yeah, sure.
But tell me some of the specific things you enjoy doing. Now, you said
I enjoy doing everything because I love being sucked into the whole. I don't know how to explain it. Growing up as a child, I wasn't really into stuff like that, but as I got older, I really started to appreciate my culture, and I love being sucked into the whole thing, like being able to wear this particular type of plaid, being able to get the foods that we don't usually get often. For example, crab callaloo, I only get that once a year in Journée Creole. I guess we could make it, but for the life of me, I have no idea how to make it. But I'm going to try this year.
Okay.
We always have a huge party, always.
There are certain foods that we like only having on holidays because they, like, if you could have them whenever, then they wouldn't be as special. How do you feel
Tell me what food.
Me?
That
You
wouldn't eat all year round. I eat Indian food all year round.
Do you think this Journée Creole food would be as good even if you could have it whenever you wanted?
Look, when you came to St. Lucia, you had you like to say our 7 different types of foods. We have more than that, but our 7 different types of food.
Yes.
That is basically local food.
Yeah.
Green finger and saltfish, which I used to have saltfish once a week when I was back home. I loved saltfish. Saltfish is just dried salted cod.
It's just salted cod.
You guys should look up pictures. And green finger is just like green is it banana? Green banana.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Fried plantain. These are things we eat all year round. And yet on Journée Creole, I can eat it even though. I don't think it matters if it was specific.
Okay. Listen, I've derived the conversation again. I keep doing that. I'm so sorry. I brought it back to food, and I meant to ask you what specific things you look forward to doing.
Because it's not a scary month. It's not. It's not about the scare factor in my country, because we don't celebrate Halloween.
You don't do Halloween.
No.
Right. But you look forward to Halloween.
Yes.
Here in Canada.
Yes. And on the internet.
And on the internet. Right. In certain video games.
Yeah. Sure. I don't think there's anything this year, although I know Amnesia, there's coming for new Amnesia, but I don't play Amnesia, that's the thing. Because it's just, I can listen to scary stories, I cannot play scary games, because I will not sleep. So, I have seen lots of gameplay on Amnesia, which has royally screwed me over.
Is this something you would watch scary gameplay specifically around Halloween? Or...
If it's trending, yeah, I just watch scary things. Not really. Halloween is more for me. The creepypastas, even if I do it all year round, it's extra special during Halloween. And the creepy shows, which have become a new thing, in my opinion, where, you know, Netflix has been releasing genuinely scary series, because, you know, we get a lot of scary movies, but scary series somewhere like lose its horror factor the more you watch it. But
I know you're thinking of one specific show.
Actually two. There are two.
Tell them.
The first one, I can't remember the name off my head.
Is it Haunting of Hill House?
That's the second one. That's the big one.
Okay, what's the first one?
I can't remember the first
Describe
one.
it to me.
It's a French scary series which follows a female writer.
No, you lost me.
What?
I don't know. I don't watch any French
stuff. Do you remember the time I was scared out of my mind in the bedroom that I was calling you to come get me because I was so afraid of the dark? I was watching that shit. And I was terrified. I have no idea why it scared me so badly. Let's take a quick break.
Okay. So you're looking up on your phone. I'm not keeping any secrets. I'm not going to edit anything out.
No, edit it out. They don't need to know that I can't remember the only...
I edit things out, but honestly, I don't.
Really?
I'm too lazy. I don't like hearing my voice. I just said that. Just while we're in this section talking about behind the scenes stuff, can you move back from your mic just a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I've been looking at the waves here, and it's been clipping for quite a while.
Well, you said it's better if it's louder than...
Yes, I know, but like still, like let's try and keep a balance.
I found it.
What is it?
Marianne. For those of you who have not seen Marianne, please go and watch Marianne.
If
there won't be a second season, they already cancelled it, but the first season is pretty dope.
Does it end on a cliffhanger?
No.
Okay.
It ends finished, but it can lead into a second series.
So it's like open-ended.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. That's fine. Well, if you like spooky, scary stuff, now's the time.
So the first one is Marianne. I really enjoyed that one. And the second one, those, I mean, genuinely terrifying series. That's for me. And the second one, obviously, it's The Haunting of Hill House, which I think by now everybody knows it's pretty good. And what I think makes a scary movie or a scary show genuinely scary is the build up of the characters, and particularly when it's sorrowful. When you can really be sad for your characters and you feel sorry for them, that is what really ups up the scare factor.
Okay.
And I've found a lot of scary shows have this horror sadness thing to it, where it's very it's very scary, but then at the end of the movie you probably end up being scared and sad.
But that's not specific to horror.
No.
I know this is something you've newly discovered, so it's like a very
because
fresh
I'm trying to convince people why they should watch horror and what makes horror what it is.
Drama and character development.
I don't like drama.
Is what makes shows really good. Hear me out. Because you get attached to the characters. When they develop properly, you care about them, and then when scary things happen, you feel, not only do you feel scary yourself, but you also feel sympathy for the characters feeling scared as well. So that's double the scaredness, which is why drama and character development is so good in these kind of shows, because before you didn't watch anything that had character development in it. I know for a fact.
I mean, you know why.
Yes, I know why. Because you don't like getting attached to characters.
No.
You don't like...
I don't like the sadness involved. I don't like the chest gripping anxiety that comes with it.
But that's what I mean. You don't like the character development.
Yeah.
Those things go hand in hand.
I like them light.
You stopped watching The Office after Michael became developed into a proper character because you felt too sad for him.
That's like season 7 or
Season 5. That's where you stopped. Yeah. Okay, so we've gotten off topic again, but that's okay.
But Hill House is coming in for second season, which is going to be airing on October 8th or 9th, I believe.
Hey, Netflix.
Called Haunting of Blair Manor, and I'm expecting it to be really good.
We'll send you a bill for this free sponsorship, for this free advertisement.
Netflix doesn't need any free advertising. They're pretty good on that.
I know.
They've been like, I love Netflix, Jesus.
Hey Netflix, we got 10 people to
tune into
Netflix.
Honestly, the only thing,
send us $1. Donate to me on Twitch.
The reason I would talk about all the horror shows on Netflix to people, I'd advise people to watch them, is because I like them, and the more people you can get to watch them, the more likely they are to make a third and a fourth season, which is what I really want. Like I said, they cancelled Marianne, and I think it had a really good story. So guys, go out and watch Haunting of Hill House and tell your friends. Let's get it going. It's really good.
Okay.
So, the movies.
So, you're talking about movies, but this derived from talking about games.
Games, yeah.
So, could you name me some... Because I can talk about a few scary games, aside from, Amnesia, which you already mentioned. Do you know any others that you really enjoy watching or sitting?
There's Outlast, which is classic.
Outlast.
Yeah, Outlast 1 and 2.
Not a fan of those ones, personally.
It's I think Outlast is scary because you think, what if I was in this situation? Like,
what if you were in a situation where you're a journalist or an investigative journalist breaking and entering into a psychiatric hospital,
an asylum
or whatever, what was it? Because he needed
a story
and pictures.
But the second one isn't like that. The second one is about the wife. You and your wife would travel in whatever, and the plane crashes or some shit like that. No, and you're going into.
When I think of the second one, I'm actually thinking of the DLC that came for the first one, because I don't know what the second one's about.
The second one is something to do with a guy and his partner goes missing and he's looking for her. It probably has to do maybe
like Silent Hill.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, Silent Hill, it's a daughter.
Yeah, but that one's pretty scary if you think of it that way. That one's more realistic-ish.
Okay.
Unless I'm thinking of the wrong thing, I apologize. I haven't watched the gameplay for the second one.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. People have already zoned out by this point.
Yep.
We're background noise.
Yep.
Which is perfect. So this is when we get to talk about random things. And this is where I'm going to bring up this segment that we do, where I ask you things that I find particularly odd or interesting about you that I'd like you to share with the world.
Oh boy.
So the first thing, last time it was specifically about food, right? So you talked about ice cream and cereal. And I have a couple more foods I'd like you to bring up.
Really?
And then one more thing. Right, so the first food is ramen.
Oh, okay.
So hold on. I have to give you some context because I know with your memory, right? Before you talk about
There's only
ramen,
one way that I eat ramen.
No, there's two ways. Oh, actually, you know what? You might be right. I think you're right. But because I'm thinking of one specific thing, it was in St. Lucia, before you ever had like
authentic
authentic ramen from like any kind of ramen shop, right? So before you had experienced real ramen, why did you start eating it the way you did, and what was the way you ate it?
Okay. Well, I used to eat it like we're talking about like the basic $1, $1.50 ramen,
like the mystery noodles.
Yeah. I used to eat it normally with just, the water and the seasoning pack, and maybe an egg.
Yeah.
Maybe some sausage.
Sure.
But I didn't like the taste of the noodles after a while.
Okay.
I find it tasted disgusting. So I started making it. I think I maybe started adding cheese at some point, but then I didn't really eat it. But it mostly started after I went to university and I was broke and I needed to eat. So I looked up a recipe for something and it said, oh, creamy ramen. I'm like, oh, that looks good. Sure. I've never used cream in my entire life, but I'm going to do it. So what I do, I make creamy ramen.
Yeah.
And I add bacon. So creamy ramen bacon, which is pretty normal, right, guys? But the thing is, it's normal. The thing is, I also like Indian food, so I add curry.
So no, say that again, louder.
So I add curry.
You add curry. Okay. So
and coconut milk.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say before you continue to the other thing, right off the bat, the cheese throws me off because I can understand cheesy noodles.
I don't really like it if the cheese, to be honest.
What I don't understand is that when you make ramen, usually, not you specifically, I mean like when you, in general, a person makes ramen, it's usually in the form of like kind of a soup. It's not like a soup, but there's some liquid, like some broth.
It's like noodles and flavored water. I don't know, but I personally don't care for flavored water.
Okay, hold on. If there's a broth in there and then you put cheese, that means you're having cheesy water. And honestly, I find that disgusting. I cannot get past the cheesy water. Just the idea of cheesy water.
So I don't...
How do you do it?
I don't like a lot of liquid in my ramen. So it's more like a cheesy pasta versus cheesy
so it's
water.
More of a mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, carbonara kind of situation.
Carbonara isn't cheese, it's a...
It is cheese. It's cheese and egg. Cheese and egg.
No, it's egg and... what's that when you put flour?
No. Nope. It's egg and parmesan or egg and something. It's egg and cheese.
Okay.
Egg.
Sure. So the other thing. So hold on, just to make sure the audience got this right. In the ramen you put cheese.
I put
bacon.
No, not at any one time.
No. Cheese. Yes, at one time.
No, I don't put cheese when I have the cream. I only put the cheese when
I
there's no cream.
wasn't gonna say cream. I was just going with the cheese.
So my basic ramen is cream.
Sure, cream.
Eggs. Bacon. Seasoning
and coconut
milk. And curry. Guys, it is the most delicious thing ever. You should try it. It is so good.
I'm stunned. So, yeah. Those of you not watching the footage, in case this footage does end up being used or posted for this episode, I still don't know what to do with the footage. I was telling her to turn the gain down on her mic. I was trying to make it like subtle without stopping the conversation, but I think, Teresia, you didn't know what I was doing. So it's just stopped. The conversation I thought you were saying
the mics are off, and because I saw you look at your laptop, I was like,
no, I was looking at it because it's clipping, and I'm like, oh boy, you gotta turn that gain down. But yes, that was the first thing, and the second thing I wanted to ask you about was mac and cheese.
Oh, what's your favorite mac and cheese?
Well, because when you make it, honestly, I feel like it's very similar to your ramen because you put a lot of those same ingredients in there.
Because I like what I like.
Yeah, because you like what you like. So I'm just gonna skip that and go straight to. Oh, speaking about cheese.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about the cheese in St. Lucia?
I don't know what cheese we have in St. Lucia. Let's just say that. At first, I thought it was. What did I think it was? Cheddar.
Yeah.
But then when we tried, because I was feeling very nostalgic about the cheese at home. Yeah.
About the St. Lucian cheese.
Yeah. And I asked my mother what cheese it was, and she said she didn't know, and we assumed it was cheddar. So we went out and we got some cheddar. It did not taste...
There's many different kinds of cheddar.
And I had no idea.
We tried 2 or 3 different ones, right? We tried a mild one, a white one, a yellow one. Yeah. And none of them tasted right.
Nope.
And now we're eating Havarti, and you think maybe it was Havarti.
Yeah, but I still don't think it's Havarti. I think it's some cheddar.
Yeah, remember when you said you wanted to... I don't remember what you wanted to cook specifically. You wanted to cook something, and you said you use cheese. And I asked you...
Maybe it's mac and cheese.
Maybe it was mac and cheese. And I asked you, what kind of cheese do you use?
Like regular cheese.
And she said, yes. You said regular cheese. I don't even know where to even begin with this, because to me, I mean, there's like 600 kinds of cheese. What's a regular cheese?
In my country, we have lots of different types of cheese, but there are the cheeses. I don't even know if other people can relate to this, but we have a section of our cheese where it's packaged separately. Because what I've noticed in Canada, all the cheeses are packaged like small packages, but it's like something that wasn't repackaged. It was just how it's sold. But in St. Lucia, they buy the huge blocks of cheeses and then they cut it, they weight, and they wrap it in like cling wrap, and they put the label and the weight and everything on it. So that's how the cheese is. So that is the cheese we buy. But I can't tell you.
You just walk up to him and you say, "I'd like cheese," and they give you the cheese.
You go to the cold section with the milk and stuff, and the cheese is right there. You just take whatever price you want, like the meats.
So that's why you don't.
That's why I don't know what cheese. I just know it's yellow.
It's just a regular cheese.
It's yellow and it is regular cheese, and it must be. And I've never looked at the label to tell you it's cheddar, Old Fort, whatever, mild, very mild. I know it's.
Sure.
But anyways, we've recently discovered that it is more like Havarti. But I don't think it's Havarti.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. This segment has gone on for a little longer.
This is not even about Halloween anymore.
No, this is the segment where I ask you things that I'd like to share.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Sure.
So I'm going to go right back to Halloween now. So we spoke about June and Quail, right? And I know that you don't do Halloween in St. Lucia, but you have celebrated...
We do have Halloween fest, though, but that's just party feed.
It's just a party. Yeah, it's not... I'm not going to count that. Because Halloween traditionally is about dressing up and, spooky things. And I mean, it depends on how old you are, I guess.
But I don't know the history behind Halloween. I can't even really tell you.
I don't know either. Honestly,
but that's your culture.
Yeah, no, that's not my culture. Halloween isn't a Canadian thing. I think it has evolved to a point where it's just like an event that some countries adopt.
Cut that out.
What?
Cut that white people thing out.
What? White people thing? Well, the thing I wanted to bring up was the Halloween you had last year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we should talk about it this episode or next episode, but to be honest, I feel like maybe next episode we're gonna have some new stuff to talk about because we're doing some Halloween-y stuff.
Yeah.
This week and next week, so we'll just talk about that.
Sure.
So, last year, you experienced your very first Rocky Horror Picture Show. I would love to hear what you thought about the very first Rocky Horror Picture Show, because I didn't tell you what it was that I was taking you to. I just gave you very vague ideas and hints.
It was so unusual. I had never experienced anything like that. So basically, I think you told me that we need to dress up.
Yeah.
And most people there dressed up very scantily. So we did like a zombie themed schoolgirl kind of thing. And I was in like fishnet stockings and heels. It was very scantily for the climate.
Yeah, because
it was freezing.
Raining. It was raining and it was cold.
It was so horrible. Anyway, so we get there and it's usual shit ton of people. We go in, everyone's like basically half naked, I swear.
You thought you were scantily clad.
When I got there, not even. I was well dressed compared to everybody else there. Anyways, we find our seats and the show starts, and basically it's I think the university puts on a show every year following the movie. What's the name of the movie?
The Rocky Horror Picture.
That's the name of the movie?
That's the name of the movie.
That follows the movie. So they act out the scenes while the movie plays in the background. You don't hear the movie, you only see. You hear the movie?
It's playing on very low volume.
Okay, and then they basically act out the same things while the movie is playing scene for scene. And
they acted out on a stage.
Yeah, in a very
in front of them.
Lucrative, scantily dressed, scantily clothed format. Very sexy, and the audience, just interacts with them when they're given the cue. So there's this cue where they say something about bread or toast, or when they give a toast and everyone throws toast at the stage. Yeah. And there's a part where there's a wedding and they have rice and shit like that. And then there's a part with an umbrella, I think. Yes. And everyone opens the umbrella with the water.
Yeah, people have water guns and they can shoot water. You can
when it's raining.
You bring the umbrella to protect yourself.
And there's a verbal cue every time someone says the guy's name. They yell slut or something like that.
When it's Janet.
And then something else. It's interesting because these people seem to come watch the movie every year because they're on the ball when it comes with calling out the verbal cues, and Andrew is there with them yelling, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But it's nice because they ask everybody who's new They ask everybody who's new to stand, and I think they applaud you or they yell out something.
They put an X on your cheek with a lipstick.
Oh yeah.
And then they call you a virgin.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You didn't do that.
No, I didn't get the lipstick thing.
I think.
But they did make us stand, and they told us something, and it was very welcoming.
No, hold on, man. It's been a year at this point almost. Yeah, so. Trying to remember, it was different. They did not do the X thing. They usually do, though. I think what they did was they just asked you to stand there, and then we could like shame you. We could like boo and call you virgins or something. Yeah.
Because I don't remember that, but I remember feeling very welcomed.
Oh,
so that's why I thought they applauded.
Because you were like part of like you were being interacted with, like the engagement.
Oh well, it was a very welcoming engagement. I don't think they were insulting.
No, I don't think it's meant to be taken badly. I think it's all like it's cheeky, you know. So you understand like kind of the theme of like how this is silly and over the top.
I would say the acting was pretty good.
Yeah. It's basically
costume was good.
Honestly, it's a middle point. It's like a midway between like a burlesque and a stage play.
Yeah.
But it's like. It's kind of low budget where all the props are like made out of like other stuff, and it's not about recreating the movie. It's mostly about like making fun of it. Yeah, kind of like it's like the movie itself is already a parody of horror movies, and this is like a parody of the parody.
And I don't know if you've seen the movie, but
for those of
the
you
movie is insane.
If you can go to a local, if you're in a place that has a local like viewing of the show at Halloween. Go to that before you watch the movie, because that's genuinely the best way to experience the movie. But
I wouldn't have liked it otherwise.
Yeah, it's hard to follow a little bit because of everything that's happening around you. I remember you didn't remember much from the plot.
No.
I had to explain something, and you were like, "There were aliens," and I'm like,
No spoilers.
Right, I'm sorry, I just spoiled that. But yes, there's a lot of nonsense in it. A lot is happening. Every minute there's something. And it's hard to keep track of because you're enjoying.
But the production makes it worth it.
It does. Then after that, once you've enjoyed, you can go home, watch the movie to get the context. And then the second time you go to the event the next year, it'll be even more rich because you'll have that extra context. So it's good to experience it as a first time.
I don't think it's going to happen this year because of, COVID. Yeah, but if it were to happen again, I would definitely go. And I think I would make it a yearly viewing thing.
Mm-hmm. We can just watch it at home. Honestly, I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be an online, a local, like, hey, let's stream it online.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have how much that would cost them for their blah to get the license to play that online.
But honestly, the fact that they charge for the show is also their budget.
Or maybe it'll be kind of a thing where you play the movie at home, and then you tune in online to watch the like stage.
Yeah. And I would honestly be up for even paying for that.
Sure.
Because I'm full support of what they do.
Sure. Yeah. It's always fun. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, highly recommended. I really hope. I wanted to go into a lot of details regarding the show. Like, I have some trivia that I'd like to share. I have some like interesting experiences that I've had with the show, but I think that could have been like a whole episode, and we kind of used your half of the Rocky Horror Picture Show for this episode, so maybe I can talk about it myself next time, because I don't want to.
That's fine.
You know what I mean. So I think honestly this is a pretty good point to wrap up.
Yeah.
So before we move on, I'm gonna check my list here real quick just to make sure I got nothing missing that I wanted to bring up that's important. And also, not all good. Also, I just wanted to remind you all that you can come join in the conversation at andrewdavid.club. That directs you to our Discord. Now, I know I said last time that if you join our Discord, you can chat with us, bring up some topics, ask us questions, and we'll do a segment at the end of these where we discuss the topics you brought up and answer the questions you asked. But, honestly, I did not compile anything for this week. I don't think there's really enough there yet. So I'm just going to hang out with you guys on Discord. We'll just chat, andrewdavid.club. And you can tweet at me at andrewdavidj. That's just the letter J at the end, not J-A-Y. And I hope to see you guys online. Come chat with us. Keep the conversation going. Let's talk about spooky, scary stuff.
Definitely.
Your favorite topic of conversation. Honestly, you should lead the Discord chat for this month so that I can just take a break and you can just do that. Talk about your favorite spooky, scary things.
Interestingly enough, people would bring up classic horror, and I don't really deal in classic horror. The only reason I watched some classic thing is just to be able to say I'm well versed when it comes to zombies, because for some reason I used to be currently obsessed with zombies. No idea why. If you see my display picture on WhatsApp, it's a zombie eating grilled cheese sandwiches, which is completely accurate to my personality.
Is it you're a zombie?
That it loves grilled cheeses.
You're a zombie that loves grilled cheese. Very accurate. Anyway, I'm wrapping up. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you're listening to this while falling asleep, we hope we didn't disturb your sleep and that we were good background noise. Have a good night.
Sleep
and
well.
To everyone else, have a wonderful day and evening. Bye.
Night.